The Association of Senior Staff of Banks, Insurance and Financial Institutions has ordered banks staff to stay off duties following series of attacks on bank staff and bank facilities. In a notice sent to all unionized banks, the association's president, Comrade Olusoji Oluwole, cited the continued attacks on workers and banks' facilities across the country as a reason for this decision. In another development, the majority leader of the House of Representatives, Ado Dogua, has revealed what effect this policy has had on the All Progressive Congress. He says it is putting the party at a disadvantage in the coming election. Listen to Dogua.
The law has provided for us the amount of money we need to oversee our election process. You need to pay your agents in the villages where you don't have ATM, in the villages where you don't have POS, in the villages where absolutely you don't have this new Naira. So this is money that I require, that the law has permitted me to have 70 million Naira as logistics for my election funding. I need to have this 70 million Naira in hard copy. If the central bank fails to make available this amount of this money we need to fund our elections, definitely every candidate, no matter what party he belongs to, will be put at disadvantage. And don't forget the point I made as a partisan member, that the policy in itself is a policy that is apparently against the ruling APC, because Nigerians that are not happy will look at it as a policy of the government of the APC. This has placed us at disadvantage already.
You know, okay. All this, at a point in time that it started, they said security reasons so that to curb vote buying, to curb banditry, and some other reasons that were given for this policy coming to be implemented just before the election. Now, this is a politician representing Kano from the House of Representatives saying that legitimately this is the amount that they will be needing.
By law.
By law.
Yeah.
And I listened to Mr. Festus Keyamo also saying that, look, the party agents across all the country, except if you are not a serious party, you will need to give a certain amount of money to your agents to buy drinks, to, you know, to hydrate themselves on election day.
Yeah. Agents have to be paid. Just the same way the INEC pays
ad hoc staff.
Ad hoc staff.
Cash.
Yes.
Pay them cash.
Pay them in cash. I don't know how far they've gone with providing INEC his money. If Emefiele and his co-travelers fail to provide INEC with the money that it needs in good time for them to be able to provide election-related logistics, then it is clear that they are trying to sabotage the elections. Because normally, this is not the sort of policy that you should bring so close to an election. There are other, even the NSA has said, look, this policy is hurting the war against terror. Because in places like Borno now, where there are no base stations, you cannot even communicate with people through their phones. How are we going to get money across to our soldiers?
Why is the hurry?
You need this cash. But because you are fixated, oh, let's stop these politicians from spending money. Politicians who are several steps ahead of you. Who owns the banks? Who put the monies in the banks there?
They know what's
the ill-gotten money that is in our banks. Who are the people who put them there? Are bank MDs and the rest of them not conniving with politicians? Are they not putting bank staff on trial over the Zani money? Is the Zani money that we are talking about, is it not election related? So to imagine that these people will not find the money that they need, it shows how narrow-minded people who take these kind of decisions are. Because if you can think deep, you will know that, look, it's just the ordinary man that will suffer. They come to tell us about how India came up with this policy. But they forgot to tell us, or maybe deliberately, that it was India's poor that suffered the most. A lot of them, their businesses collapsed. For 2 years, India did not recover from the currency change that they made in 2016. Businesses collapsed. It hurt the economy. Even the money that the CBN used to make, I mean, the Apex Bank used to make, it came down drastically to about 40%. Because you have to print. No one knows now in a country where our leaders are not accountable. They've not even told us how much they expended on printing these new notes.
They've not told us.
In other places, by now, we will know.
They've not even told us the volume of the money released in the
We don't even know.
They've not told us.
We hear some people say 300 billion, some are saying 400 billion. You know, we don't even know. You, as the CBN governor, knowing what we are going through, you are supposed to be addressing Nigerians, that gentlemen and women, we want to solve this problem. These are the steps that we are taking.
Yes.
Nothing like that. Unaccountable people. They're not even talking to us.
The president ordered that 200 naira, the old 200 naira should be rejected in the sector, but till now,
You know why?
still
You
waiting.
know why? Because of the sufferings of the people. You know, when you push people to the wall, and when they are hungry, an hungry man is an angry man. So a lot of people are very angry about the situation of things, and they are saying they cannot reach the governor of central bank. So they are saying the banks as their enemies.
Yes.
And they've started attacking the banks.
because they lied against the banks, that
Started
they are
making
keeping
the banks
money.
uncomfortable.
Go to
So the
vandalize
problem now is
POS
that that's
facilities.
why the union is telling the banks to say, look, they will not work because they cannot endanger the lives of the staff of those
their
banks.
colleagues.
Okay.
And then the colleagues. And then these banks do not really have the money.
They don't. They
So
don't.
when you enter the bank and you say you want money and they cannot provide you that money, there will be problem. Tension will be high. So
Okay.
because of that, they are locking up. They are not opening to customers.
All right, let's go for this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. All right, thank you for staying with us. This is Journalist Hangout on Sunday. Jide, we have to be concerned about the protection and security of bank staffs because it has if the Apex Bank, through the CBN governor, might have thrown them under the bus.
That's what is done. That's what is done to his constituency. You know, we came from Zenith Bank, came from the banking sector, and look at what is done, saying that those guys are hoarding the money. How many people have you punished? The CBN has an inspectorate unit. How many bank staff have been punished? How many banks have you sanctioned? Even the one they made so much noise about, that one bank kept 208 million, this and that. They've been discovered that it was a hoax. The anti-corruption agency just went there. For those guys, yes, those guys showed that, look, this is a regional branch. It is from here that we move money to other branches. This is what we received. We are in the process of moving it. And they showed evidence that, look, all what we got from the CBN, this is how we have moved it up to this moment. So there was nothing like hoarding that hoard 200 and something million. There was nothing like hoarding. They defended themselves.
Yeah, I know, because it's
Yes.
bank, it's Talmark, yes.
They defended themselves, but they tried to give them a bad name. You know the same way
Nigerians,
all this
mob mentality.
gara that the EFCC and ICPC do sometimes. At the end of the day, when you take the people to court, those are the ones who win. EFCC has a history of losing so many of his cases because they will not do due diligence, they will not do extensive investigation before taking people before the court. How many times have judges even abused them? That you didn't do diligent prosecution. Now, in this case, they tried to demonize that bank. But they came out, defended themselves stoutly that, look, this is what happened. We are not hoarding. We are not hoarding. This is what they've given us.
There's no
They
money
provided
in
the
these
evidence.
banks.
They are not giving them
if
enough.
You talk to a lot of bank managers. I've discussed extensively with
Yes.
a lot of bank managers and top executives in bank. They don't have this money.
Enough.
What they have just done is that, oh, we have the money. And then when you claim that you have the money, because the people that people interface with is the commercial banks, they will hold them responsible.
Yes.
And unfortunately, things have gone out of hand. They've attacked some banks, they destroyed some facilities and assets. So most of these banks don't want to open their doors.
Yes.
Because you can only open your doors when you know that you have enough resources to be able to take care of these people who are really hungry. Because a lot of them don't have money to eat. Their businesses will be affected. So it is natural for them to be angry. So we have to look at it. We'll just pray. We just pray that this will not worsen situations in the week of the election. Because if from Monday, banks do not open, it will create more problems.
Yes.
We just hope that they'll be able to get their acts together and the banks will be able to open and give people
Then they have
money.
to provide them with enough.
Yes, let
You
people
know,
have
this
access.
fixation that, if you provide them with enough, so politicians will mop it. They need to first get that crazy notion out of the idea. Think about the Nigerian people. For a moment, forget about the politicians.
How would they mop it up? When you say people cannot collect more than 20,000 naira, how would politicians
so
mop
what
it
is
up?
the thing? So if you put safeguards in place, definitely no one will be able to circumvent the process. But you are not even giving the banks enough.
Okay,
you are not giving them.
Look at the effect of this now. Now, as Bifi and Obifi, they are calling their bank staff out now. As in they are calling them to come, that look, don't open. And if those ones, if they go on strike, this will aggravate
No, we have to beg them
the
not to do that.
situation.
No, it will worsen.
ourselves.
In fact, it will worsen things. They may not be there. People, some of the branches that were set ablaze, people were not there. So what happened in Port Harcourt? Attacks on banks and all that. Because it's easy to think that, this is just one part of the country. But it's spreading. And I warned that they should not let it get to Lagos. Because if it gets to Lagos, it's difficult to contain. Now,
It's not recovered
because
from
we
the
did not,
NSAS
because they did not
social.
do their best to put an end to this, you can see that eventually it got to Lagos. And our people are going through a lot. If some of us are experiencing so much pain like this, you can imagine the ordinary person. I hate the situation in which some of the people that I assist, I see that they need help. I'm unable to provide that kind of help. It pains me, whether in my office or even on the road, that people look at soldiers. I always tell, even when the driver is taking me, I'm traveling, he gets to the checkpoint, because I have a sticker that shows that I'm a pressman, the driver begins to think that, look, we are not supposed to be stopped. He wants to move. I say, are you okay? Stay there. Why? You disrespect them by trying to drive through the checkpoint. These are people working for us. I stop, and then I give them what I need to give them to support them. I'm not obligated to do it, but I believe that.
And they didn't ask.
That is, yes, and they didn't ask. A lot of them don't, they won't even ask at all. You say, my brother, take. I'll say, thank you, they appreciate it. I can't do that now, because even me, I don't have enough.
You need somebody
It's
to
a
do
tug
like
of
this.
war. Yes. It's a tug of war. Somebody based in Abuja was asking me if I had one of my old friends. We went to Ilorin together. He said, Jide, so ni cash ni me that I'm here in Lagos. How will I give you?
I want to advise
you.
the central bank to please make sure that they get in touch with all the commercial banks. At least let them inject the 200 naira so that people can collect that across the counter. The new note should be put in ATM so that the money will be able to go around more. It will be counterproductive if the banks close their doors against the people. We may not know the repercussion of that. Let us not take that risk. For us to be able to solve this problem, we have a problem, yes. But to solve the problem, it is important that they inject more cash into the banks, let them be able to give people across the counter, and then people will be able to access the new notes through the ATM so that the liquidity thing will improve. When it improves, there won't be need for anybody to attack banks or attack bank workers, and there won't be any need for banks to close their doors. It is important that banks must not close their doors.
Okay, one other painful aspect is that people still have the same possession of the old 500 naira, 1,000 naira notes in large quantity.
Yes.
And if you tell Nigerians to come out now, the amount of that money that has not been absorbed, it's mind-boggling. And a lot of people,
We can solve
they
that
go
one
desperate.
later. We can solve that one later. Their money, everybody will collect
That's why
their money
we're
back.
talking about this
I can
deadline.
assure you that.
Yeah.
Everybody will collect their money back. The law says so.
That's what the law says.
That's what the law
But that
says.
is
The
not the
central
way
bank does
the
not.
CBN is going about it.
No. The central bank does not have the power. It's in the Central Bank Act. The central bank does not have the money to deny you your money. I will give you an example.
When somebody is telling
let me
you
give you an example.
already
Let me
that
give an
it's
example.
no longer a legal tender.
No, he's talking crap. Last year, I didn't go to UK last year, and the 20 naira, the 20 pounds notes ceased to be legal tender September 2022. I still have over 200 pounds with me. You understand? It's been like that. They've been spending both like that for about 2 years plus. But September 20,
Side by side.
side by side, September 2022 was when the 20 pounds, the paper note, ceased to be legal tender. But anytime that I get into UK, I will just take the 200 pounds, give to somebody that has an account, the person take it to his bank, not the Bank of England. He will take it to his commercial bank, pay it in, and he will withdraw the money from me. That is how it's done. I'm not in UK now. I still have the 200 pounds with me.
Anytime you go.
Anytime I go to UK, I will just give it, because we can only collect to send it through an account. So I'll just give it to somebody that has an account in UK. It will help me to pay it in and withdraw the money for me. So nobody can tell you, you cannot lose your money. That is the law.
Why is it difficult to now, spend this money side by side? If you have...
That's the way...
No. It's because I've told you that the reason for that is that they believe in their wisdom, that they want to stop vote buying. So, and they believe that if they ask you to spend this side by side, that the politicians that they claim have stashed their money will now have access to that money and spend it. So, to them, the essence of doing this Naira design has been defeated.
That means this whole Naira design was not...
It was targeted, yes. It was targeted as politicians.
It is.
Yes.
There's no economic value.
It was just targeted.
No economic value to it. No gain that will come from it.
The primary target was the politicians.
Former Minister of Finance, Idika
Kali, yes.
Go and read what he wrote.
If I watched this interview.
There's no value in what they are doing. That you can't use this to reflate your economy.
Yes,
you can't use it.
And he used to work with IMF.
Yes, you can't use it. Even IMF told us that we should extend the thing, that people are suffering.
He mentioned it in the interview that IMF normally do not get involved in things like that. But because that they must have been more bothered for them to get involved in things like that.
Yes, and they said, look, extend this thing. You can't be wiser than these people now. You can't be wiser than them, but you refuse to listen.
Why they don't want to do it is because they believe that, if we say they should spend 1,500, that most of these people that spend money is in 1,500 denomination. That means they will have access to that money for this election. That's why I'm telling you that I am very sure that after the election, they will change the policy and they will say that you can still spend 1,500. You will see.
But because of the manifest incompetence of the CBN, these supply hiccups may even remain until after the election.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. After the election, because it takes time to print money.
Yes.
If you want to print the new notes, if you want to print extra new notes, you see, it's not like it's a security printing. It's not something that you just put and bring out. It takes some time to print money. So this supply problem will still be there after the election. Yes. So I believe that what they will do is to say like that April that they have said that 200 should be. I'm sure that after the election, they will probably say, okay, you can also spend, that let us reinject the 500 and 1,000, old 9,000, so that you spend it side by side for things to cool down. But they don't want to do that now because they believe that they don't want politicians to have access to it before the election.
Or politicians, the politicians that they don't like.
That, or whatever. So I just believe that after this election, maybe they will be in a better position to look at things again and take decisions that will...
Mr. President was saying that there is so much money in circulation. You are the one doing conditional cash transfer. Every month, you come up with billions of naira that you share to people.
Through ways and means.
No. Conditional cash transfer.
No, that's what I'm saying. Through ways and means. It's not money they generated. It's money that printed by central bank for them.
I'm not even going there. What you see, when you give out money to people the way you have done. You've done that of trader money.
Trader money.
You went into banks, gave money to people. A lot of
the money... meant to return it.
Even the poverty alleviation that you supposed to pay directly into people's accounts.
Yes.
Money were paid directly to people's accounts.
You did anchor borrowers. You release money to people. You are now wondering...
There's no record of the people that...
You are now wondering
the money.
why there is so much money in circulation. When every month, a minimum of 20 billion is what you share to people in the name of conditional cash transfer. So if you are doing that, there's no way that people won't have more money to spend. So whom are you blaming? You came up with policy, you put money in people's hands, whether it's trader money or not, very close to the election. We remember Baba Kekere was the one sharing the money at that time. People called it vote buying and all that. Yes, Now, you are saying that there's so much money in circulation. Who caused it? Who gave people so much money to put in their hands? You did it. So you can't then punish the rest of us who did not benefit from trader money, anchor borrowers, even nicer to giving money to, giving agri credit to farmers. All of these things will naturally make our people to have more money. They have more liquidity. So you are now blaming everybody that there is so much money in circulation. And even that one, people have argued that it is not even true that there is so much money in circulation, because based on the percentage of the money in the economy and what is in the hands of people, they are saying no. We don't. It's not even true that we have so much money in circulation.
Yes, the
So
reason
that
for
is
that
even-
is that they claim that the money that is circulating within individuals is 500 billion, and about 2.2 or thereabout trillion is outside the banking industry. That's why they came with that. I agree that it is not good for the economy, for majority of your money not to be useful to the economy. You know, not
it's useful, not that it's not useful.
No. If it is charged somewhere, it's not adding.
It's not tax.
No, that's what they claim. That's what they claim.
The farmers, for example,
they claim that
they use their money.
Yeah, they
It's
claim
not
for
taxed.
2.2 trillion. That's what the central bank governor said. That 2.2 trillion is outside the banking industry.
there's no-
But that does not necessarily mean
It's not
that
the fault
it was,
of our
yes,
people.
the mistake they are making is that does not mean that it belongs, that is in the vaults of politicians.
No.
There are a lot of farmers, especially in the north, who transact their business in cash, and who keeps their money at home because of the nature of where they operate from. Rufai told us, for example, that there is a local government in Kaduna State that doesn't have banks at all,
There are many,
and that there are a lot of farmers there.
In that area,
those
yes.
farmers were so angry and said that, how can you make us poor overnight? Because what is going to happen to their money? And they have to convince that, don't worry, you won't lose your money. So it is not all this money that is not within the banking
they are
system.
making it look
that
like
is in the vaults of
politicians.
people.
I mean,
Yes.
look at the way our people are thinking. Before now, even before this crisis, I used to talk about the Singa market in Kano, the textile market,
yes.
where people come from as far as Central African Republic to trade.
men.
And I used to say that, look, for the first time in my life, I saw able-bodied men. All they do throughout the day is count money. They hire them just to count money. These people don't believe in the banks. As they are bringing, maybe they just did a transaction, as they are bringing this thing, it's already shelling out that one to go and buy more products. There are people who say, okay, take this one to this person, go and buy this. They are circulating the money within themselves, and it's legitimate earnings. There are people who have never borrowed money from the banks, and they do legitimate business.
There are a lot of people that don't even have bank accounts.
They don't have it, and
They are
it's not
within
their
the banking
fault.
system. Yes.
Statistics show that only 18% of women in Jigawa State actually have bank accounts.
Can you imagine?
So this money that is still out there, a lot of it, I can say more than 90% of it is actually a lot of our people who are farmers and other people. To say that, politicians, we were discussing, there's one politician that started 22 billion. And we were discussing, he said this is crazy.
That's a stupid thing to say. How can somebody put 22 billion in
They won't stash
his
Naira.
house?
They won't stash Naira.
They won't.
It's dollars that they stash.
Who will put 22 billion at home?
I don't know. I don't know where. These are the things that they are saying just to make people believe that, this policy is the best in Nigerian history.
After the election, all these grandstanding.
Somebody say, this whole thing will just fade out.
After the election, this thing will fizzle out. When they now after the election has been won and lost, you will not say again that
They will tell
politicians are
another
putting
story.
money in their own.
But my
to
feeling,
do another
you see,
election in 4 years'
I'm
time.
not so hopeful that after the election, these supply hiccups will stop. I'm not so hopeful.
It will take time.
Yes,
to
because we need
circulate.
time, given
We need
the
time.
incompetence
No,
that we have come to associate
what
with
the
these
central
guys.
bank, go and write it down. What the central bank would do is to inject the 500 and 1,000 back into the economy and ask people to spend
sure?
it. Wait to spend it side by side for some time. Go and write it down. Write today's date down. Because if they don't do
Did you hear
that,
that story of it being trashed?
if they don't
already?
do that, if they don't, nothing is trash. The man is
The
nothing is
governors,
trash.
no,
Nothing
I
is
said
trash.
to
The
you
man
something
is-
when you
man is lying.
brought the matter. I said we didn't hear it from him, so let's not.
Yeah,
go.
hey, it's not.
It's other people that came while trying to negotiate with governors.
That claim that
and
it's
brought the
trash.
idea.
Nothing is trash.
And Nasu El-Rufai said we showed them evidence that we are aware that nothing has been trashed. So let's not even go
course.
into that one again. Because we'll
Since
be
when and
providing
when will you
ammunition
charge
for
2.something trillion?
evil people.
How can you do
Nobody, the banks still have this money in their vaults.
Of course, they do.
So we have people in the banks now that we can ask questions from. So it's not the sort of story
Because
that,
I know that the problem that they know that they have a supply problem. That is why they said, okay, because they believe that if they inject the 200 naira denomination, that most people who keep money
they prefer
for other
higher
purposes,
denominations.
they prefer higher denomination. That is the reason for that. So I believe that by the time we finish the election in March, and there's no story again that politicians need money to do an election, then they will sit down and realize that they have problem with the supply chain, and they have to inject more money into the economy, and they will do that. Because we cannot continue like this.
But
They know.
even the currencies that they did not reprint, remember this whole period, even those ones, we did not see.
The new ones.
The lower denominations.
No, those ones we didn't see now because they've lost value.
We didn't even
They've lost
see.
value. Who wants to spend 15 naira now?
No, like even 100 naira, for example.
They should do the more
We
of
didn't
100
see-
naira,
we
yes.
didn't- we
It's
didn't
still a
see-
legal tender, but
Yes,
it's
we did not
scarce.
even see them.
We don't see.
That's the thing. People were asking that, okay, the ones that did not reprint, where are they?
How about coins?
Eh? No, I said the ones,
No,
it's
the
not
100
every
naira
currency.
denomination
Yeah.
is still legal
It's
tender.
still legal tender. But
Why
we did not
is
even
the
see
100
it.
naira notes?
Where is it?
Where is
Oh,
it?
the old 100 naira.
Yes,
it's
we
still
can
legal
still spend
tender.
it.
Even,
Yes,
of
now it's
course,
legal
sometimes.
tender.
So even at the height
It was
of this
not redesigned.
scarcity, even at the height of this scarcity, nobody could lay his hand on them. We didn't even see those ones. The old note, it's legal tender, you can use it. But we didn't even see.
That's what I'm saying, that
So
they
it's
know
not-
that we have this supply problem, and Nigerians cannot continue like this. It's so sad that Nigerians are feeling like this in 1 week to election. Next Saturday is election. But let's just continue to hope that our people will be able to go to the polling units, exercise their rights, so that when we finish the sequence of elections, then they will sit down and supply this supply
The
problem.
battle will still continue after the elections.